Caught me. Busted. Forgot to set up the loop on the stream beginning. Welcome to another episode of Generation Red. Just hanging out in the studio tonight by myself. This is episode 131. Like I said, this is episode 131 of Generation Red, the kettle corn of Husker fan podcast, where we try to be sweet, but at times we get salty. I am your solo host, Ken, tonight. Scott's taking a break from the show, as well as Coach Ben. Prayers and thoughts out to him as he is struggling with his voice. And being a coach, he needs a voice much more than he needs to be a podcast host. So, Coach Ben's got the night off, and Justin as well is not with us tonight. So it's just me, and it's a real simple show. Tonight, we're not going to have a whole lot of in-depth analysis on anything. In fact, the only thing we're really going to talk about is the future shows that we plan to do for this offseason prior to the start of the 2025 year. So if you have any thoughts or any questions, or if there's anything about this past season or even the upcoming season that you'd like to throw down in the chat, of course, we're open to talking about just about anything Husker football on this channel and on this show. So thanks so much for joining me tonight. I see we've got 7 people already in here tonight. Thank you so much for watching. Y'all know the drill. If you want to follow the show, it's at GenRedPod on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter, as well as you can like and subscribe to this channel, add your 2 cents in the live chat or in the comments after the show. Our merch is live now. So if you want to go get some Generation Red merchandise, you can certainly do that by going to our website at genredpod.com and clicking on the link in the gray bar at the top of the page. We'd really appreciate it if you leave us a like and a comment. It helps everything out. The more thumbs up we get, the more that YouTube throws us out in the algorithm for other Husker fans to watch. So with all that said, I just wanted to say that I really appreciate the fact that our podcast is going into our 3rd season this next season, affiliated with the Hurrdat Sports Network. Hurrdat's been a great partner, and one of the great things about being partners with them is the fact that they partner with us in adding some advertisers to our show. So Underdog Fantasy Sports is the easiest way to play fantasy sports. All you have to do is, like the slide right there says, just download the app, sign up, and deposit a minimum of $10 using our code GENRED, GENRED, all one word. And then you could receive up to $1,000 in bonus cash to play with and a free pick. So play the easiest way to play fantasy sports. Go to the Underdog Fantasy Sports app, get it downloaded, get signed up with a minimum of $10 and get up to $1,000 to play with, as well as a free pick. So there we have it. That gets the housekeeping out of the way. And now we can kind of get into the nuts and bolts of what I wanted to talk about tonight, which is really simple. I wanted to kind of give you guys a heads up as to how many shows we've got coming this off season. I know we usually take a pretty extensive break between the end of the season and the spring game, but we didn't get to do that this year because we actually had a bowl game to cover, which is kind of cool. We've also got signing day coming up, and of course, that'll be a part of our off-season plans as well. So let me just throw the slideshow up here, get you started on finding out exactly what we've got going on. We plan at least 2 shows in February, provided both Justin and Coach are available. Not sure Scott's availability yet at this point on these shows, but should he decide to jump in, he's always welcome to be here as well. He's just needing some time away to kind of recharge the batteries, and I completely understand that. So February, we've got episode 132, which should be right after signing day, where we talk about the high school class and pick our players to watch from that class. It should be fun. I'd be curious, what do you guys think? Who do you think are some of the players in that class that you're really curious to watch? Some of these true freshmen coming in. Nebraska, as every other college football team has to do now, we have to adapt to an ever-changing landscape in college football, namely the fact that everybody is going to be dealing with a 105-man roster. It means that we've expanded the number of scholarships that each school can have from 85 up to 105, but it all but eliminates the all-important walk-on program, the thing that really was the backbone of Nebraska football in the past. And the curiosity for me is, how does a guy like Matt Rule, a guy who has an old school mentality, when he wants to bring in mostly high school players, he wants to develop them over 3 or 4 years to where they're basically NFL ready when they go to leave campus. Well, the transfer portal happened in the last 5 years, and then NIL has just exploded into what's going to be revenue sharing and all these kinds of things. So I'm curious what kind of impact the high school classes are really going to have in the near future and long-term future of Husker and other college football teams, or how much more is the portal classes going to benefit or hurt teams in the future? Because let's be honest, everybody in the portal was recruited at one point as a high school player, right? Thought they were the guy that's going to be the one that need to bring into the program, need to be everything that the program needs them to be, and then they're like, nah, they bounce after a year, they bounce after 2, or their coach leaves because he get hired away to a better job. That's the one spot where I don't mind the portal. Hey, your coach leaves, you're more than welcome to follow him to his new place if he wants you there. So I have no issue with that. It's this whole, I'm not getting the playing time, I'm out, I'm bouncing. So the new portal rules, the new with the new NIL. So we're going to talk about the high school class fairly early in February after signing day. And then, of course, the next time we get together, probably a couple weeks later, we'll talk about the portal class. We'll break it down, look forward to maybe what could be showing up in the portal from other teams in the spring. Or more importantly, do we anticipate too many other guys that we don't want to see leave because of having to cut the roster back to 105? So that's what you have in store for you in February. March, we've just got one show for sure scheduled at this point. We don't have any dates for any of these for sure. I've got some written down in a Google note, but I just want to make sure all the guys are going to be available for those dates before we actually publish them. But in March, the plan is to have kind of biographical show, kind of like what Scott and I did way at the beginning of the podcast, where we took a few shows to kind of get to know us, where we shared our favorite 5 Husker wins and our most gut-wrenching 5 Husker losses leading up to 2021, which I think the whole damn season was the most gut-wrenching Husker losses, plus all the losses that have happened since that all seem to come down to gut-wrenching fashion. The way, the Bills lost last night. They're going to their third Super Bowl. Yeah, buddy, go Kansas City. And I know I'm going to piss a bunch of people off by saying that, because we've got this WWE mentality now when it comes to football that somehow the outcomes are rigged, and I get it. But we're not going to get into that. So we're going to get to know Coach BA. We're going to get to know Justin a little bit, find out their stories, their backstories, how Coach got into coaching, how Justin got into being a full-time YouTuber specializing in recruiting, especially where Nebraska football is concerned. He's an NFL nut. He's a boxing fanatic. He's into singing. He's done it all, folks. He is a well-rounded man that I really look forward to getting to know, even on a deeper level on this show in March. So there you go. That's the next couple of months. Then we slide into April. And I'm not exactly sure. I don't know if anybody can let me know in the chat, because I am not sure when spring camp is supposed to start. Looks like all of our viewers right now are on X, so I'm not sure if you guys have access to the live chat. But if somebody could shoot me a DM on Twitter and just let me know if they've heard when spring ball is. I have been kind of hyper-focused on another project right now, so I really have not been keeping up on the latest news. In fact, I had to ask Coach in a text earlier today, hey, do we have a special teams coordinator yet? His answer, I don't think so. So, but he's in the middle of a coaching searching, and looks like he's kind of narrowing some things down as far as his future in the coaching ranks in Kansas. So that's pretty cool. We should be able to hear all about that next time we get together. So yeah, we're going to do the spring game preview sometime in April, maybe late March, depending on when spring camp begins. But most likely it'll be in April, probably the week before the spring game. And then we'll do the spring game recap the Monday after the spring game. Then May, we've got one podcast for sure that we're going to do. And when we kind of break down the activity from the spring portal, maybe forecast and procrastinate, or procrastinate. Wow, Ken, English. It's a language you should learn. Prognosticate, if you will, about what the portal changes could look like and what the fall roster could possibly shape up to be by the time the Huskers get back together in August to begin preparations for the Cincinnati game at the end of the month. And then we're going to do a kind of an overview of how we feel the state of college. What is the state of college football now with all the crazy, with the 105-man roster, with the NIL going nuts and the revenue sharing coming down the pipe and transfer portal and absolutely no need to sit out if you decide to transfer. You can just bounce on your team and just immediately start somewhere else. How do we feel that has affected the state of college football? So we'll talk about that. That might be 2 shows. Spring portal, maybe state of college football in another show. We'll see. And then June, probably one of our favorite off-season shows that Scott and I have done, second only to another off-season show we'll do in July, which we'll get to in a minute. But in June, we love doing our Roulade versus Reality prediction show where we take game by game and we go, if we're looking at it through based on past history, what the Huskers have historically been doing in the recent past, this last decade, this is our reality thinking in this game. But if we're going full blown into drinking the Roulade, then let's look at it from this perspective. You know what? I need to plug my laptop in because I had my external hard drive plugged in and my laptop's about to die. There we go. The real-time running of a podcast by myself. It's fun. I don't mind it. I think this is great. Hopefully you guys are appreciating what I'm doing here. Hopefully you're enjoying this. So anyway, back to May. Again, it's the spring portal and then the state of college football. June, Roulade versus Reality predictions. We just love doing this. Figuring out this is probably what'll happen in reality, but this is what we'd love to have happen if we are just chock full and overloaded on Roulade. So we should have a lot of fun with that. And I think Justin and Coach are going to get a kick out of participating in that. July, that's that other off-season podcast that for me is my favorite one that we do every year, and that's the 2025 over-under game with the Husker Cuzcast guys. We just did on Thursday night, if you had missed that show, we just did the results show from 2024 in which Derek won most of the 6 categories. Scott won a couple of categories, and then almost none of us won any of the bonus questions that I came up with for each category. So the bottom line was, as the host of this show, I am thoroughly embarrassed and totally not surprised to report I won absolutely none of the categories. So such is my existence. Anyway, July, yeah, the over-under game. Make sure you go catch that over-under game results show that we did on Thursday night. It's right here on the YouTube channel or on your favorite podcast app, which I should have reminded you at the beginning that the audio for all of these shows is available on your favorite podcast app just by searching for and subscribing to Generation Red. August, football month. It's the favorite month of the year for those of us who are waiting. And my prayer is that it's not going to be a favorite month for people to schedule weddings who I care about very greatly, because if that wedding is anywhere near Thursday, August 28th, this boy ain't going to be there. So Wednesday, August 27th, we plan to do our Cincinnati preview, possibly live from Kansas City, hanging out with Coach in his neck of the woods. Maybe Justin's coming down from Arizona. We don't know. But for sure, we've got a Big Ten Media Days and Fall Camp preview show that we'll do right before that, right after Big Ten Media Days. So that's kind of what you got to look forward to from us over the next few months before the season starts again. One more slide here real quick. I'm going to be a little self-indulgent and cross-promote some new content that I'm going to be producing very soon. In fact, I've produced quite a bit of content for this new channel. I just need to get it uploaded, get it ready to go, get it all search engine optimized, all that fun stuff that you're supposed to do when doing stuff like this. But there you go. My brand new channel called Struggle Swing Golf, because the swing itself is a constant struggle to try to perfect it, constant struggle to try to maintain consistent contact, hit the dang thing straight, all that fun stuff. And for me, I have enjoyed channels on YouTube for quite some time that chronicle people's journeys, whether it be just vacation vlogs or golf vlogs or Husker fans that travel to games that are away, or even Emmett Johnson's vlog when he went to New York City for the bowl game. That was very enjoyable for me. So I decided, well, there won't be a whole lot of vlogs on this channel. It'll be mostly me in the simulator, working on my swing, working on playing some matches with other YouTubers who play on the same simulator software that I do, and some tutorials. So if you're interested in simulator golf and you're wondering what this GS Pro thing is all about, I'll be doing some very simple, short, quick and easy tutorials. So that's it. That's Struggle Swing Golf, youtube.com at Struggle Swing Golf, where the struggle is always real and sometimes edited, except for my swings. The only thing that will be edited is me doing what I'm doing right now, yammering on and on and on about stuff that really doesn't matter. But all the swings will be real and all the swings will be there. So that pretty much wraps it up for this show. It's going to be, like I said, it's going to be short and sweet and to the point. There's nothing much else to say. I mean, we had a college football playoff championship game that I was hoping to cover with Coach and the boys tonight, but it just didn't work out. And it's kind of a little late to talk about it much later than this. So congratulations to Ohio State, to our Big Ten conference for getting yet another national championship. And when you look at the map of all the national championships won at all the divisions, North's where it's at, folks. I don't give two rips what Paul Feinbaum says or what anybody else says about the greatness of the SEC. It's pretty amazing how much the rest of college football has caught up with those jokers down there, simply because they can pay their players too legally. So yeah, the McDonald's bags full of $100 bills aren't necessary anymore to get decent players in town. So I wish Justin were here with a little bit of a recruiting update. I know there's a Notre Dame offensive lineman in town right now, so I'll be curious to see what happens with that. Sure would be good to get another couple of big guys up front to be a part of this program going forward, especially going into next year. Anyway, Hurrdat Sports Network, thank you guys for sponsoring the audio, for making sure this audio gets out to people. A lot of good podcasts on that network, so don't miss them. Also, Justin Adams, you find him at Nebraska at the Voice of College Football on YouTube. Like I said, nobody's better at breaking down film of recruits, of coming up with good analysis on how good they could be in a college football uniform. So I'll be curious to see what he has to say about this class when the signing class finally gets signed. Coach, make sure you follow Coach BA at the BA Coaches Show on YouTube, and also on the BA Coaches Show on any of your favorite podcast apps if you want to listen to his show. I hear he's going to be putting out some more content here pretty soon, as soon as this whole coaching search and his throat gets figured out. So I think that's about it. Unless any of you in the stream that are watching have any questions. I've got one person on YouTube at least. I don't know if you have a question or a thought or something that you'd like me to talk about. But otherwise, my voice is about to go. It's been kind of a long day. I was in a cold garage hanging out with friends, hitting some golf balls, and I think it kind of took my voice down a notch here, and that's always fun. But yeah, that's it. I think that's it. Thanks so much for watching, guys. We appreciate you very much. We appreciate all the people who follow us on our social medias at GenRed Pod on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Also, Generation Red on your favorite podcast app, so you don't miss out on the audio for this show if you prefer it instead of watching the video, because I wouldn't want to watch this either if it were me. But until next time, on behalf of Scott, Coach, and Justin, we are all Generation Red. We absolutely love Husker football, and we are here to chronicle Nebraska's inevitable return to college football greatness, one podcast at a time, because there's no place like Nebraska. Iowa's corn sucks. Peace and love, or whatever the hell it is that Justin says at the end of his show. Peace, and we'll see you in the next one. And as BA so famously says, and I so deeply appreciate, in rule, we trust. God bless, good night, and go Big Red.